All right, live again. Now the question is it actually going to work? And it is streaming to the wrong place. Oh, I have the same stream key set up in two places. Oh no. Um, let's change this stream key. Can I even do this at this point? Okay, I did. Cool. All right. Let's just go back on this. I'm sorry about this, folks. This is all sideways and wonky right now. I've just discovered a cool little side note about trying to do two Facebook streams to different groups at the same time. It's very exciting. I need to edit. I see I can't actually edit where it goes. Can I add a whole new destination? I think I can. So I'm going to turn off that destination. You're just like watching me live troubleshoot here. It's fine. Don't worry about it. All right. We're going to copy this stream key. And I need a URL. I'm so glad that Facebook decided to make this so much easier for all of us. It's just so wonderful that they thought this would be a great thing to do, to make it so that we have to like jump through hoops to stream into groups now. Hey there, Amy. Yeah, you can stream directly to Facebook groups, except you have to jump. You have to do what's called a custom RMTP. Yeah, RTMP stream, and it is not working right now, which is pesky. So I'm not sure how I'm going to make this work. I'm going to go back and try this again. I'm just going to start like a whole new, see if I can start a whole new stream on the Facebook side. I have to play around later with whether or not I can actually stream to more than one place at once. Yeah, it's Facebook is just not picking up my stream. It just doesn't care. I'm going to try another one. Let's see. Copy this. Enter a server URL. Sorry, folks, if this is taking a bit. I have a fun topic today, I swear. All right. Save changes. Come on, Facebook. I believe in you. I believe in you so much. I feel like that's like misleading. What I wanted to do is I wanted to stream to our 5-day Facebook ad challenge group and our main group. And it was working streaming into the 5-day challenge group, but it's refusing to work to stream into the main group, which is funny because I stream into our main group all the time. And it always works, but now it's just like, nah. Preview stream visibility, show primary stream. Wow, it's interesting. I can do like a backup stream and a primary stream. There it is. It's working. Oh my God. It worked. I just had to click on buttons and then suddenly the stream showed up on Facebook. All right. Let's see. Live video is starting. I am live in our Facebook group as well. Hey, honey. I'm in the Facebook group now too, Jill. So you can set up the stream there if you wish, or not set the stream. I mean, make the everybody comment there if you wish. And I'm gonna be daring. I am gonna try to stream to two places at once. Do you think that's insane? Should I do something that exciting? Jill, by the way, sent me a message She's making an emotional start pickle. Is that like a crochet thing that you were making, Jill, or is that just like just some sort of other random thing? I need to know what an emotional start pickle is, because that seems very interesting to me. All right, I'm going to live on the edge. I'm going to try to stream to 2 Facebook groups at the same time. I am probably playing with fire here. Hey, Monique, you made it just in time. We're on a late start due to me trying to do crazy things. Oh no, looks like streaming to 2 streams at once is a problem. Advanced settings. Okay, so is my Facebook group stream still working, Jill? Oh, it was like showing right up on my home feed. I'll do it. I'll do the comment then. Me crazy, I know, right? Let's see. There we are. I'm live. I'm just gonna make the everybody comment. At everyone. We're talking about how FB ads aren't. So I'm curious, who has heard the talk about how Facebook ads are dead and they don't work anymore? I've been hearing people say that, and despite 2 weeks ago me spending the entire time complaining about Facebook, I actually don't believe that. I'm curious if anybody else is hearing that as well. 2 days lunch with Mal. There we go. I wasn't on last week because I wasn't feeling well. I had a 3.5 day migraine, which was super not fun. Do not recommend. Totally not a cool thing to have happen. All right, and see, I'm doing it. I'm doing the crazy thing. I'm gonna try 2 streams for the price of 1. Nickname 5 day 2. All right, and so to give it a name, and then I'm going to be able to like fully pay attention to what I'm doing here. I swear. Save. Also, just because I like the idea of the challenge of trying to do streaming to 2 different groups on Facebook at the same time. But if it doesn't work, that's fine. I won't kill myself over it. Oh, it is going to work. It's a Christmas miracle. Oh, well, that takes all the fun out of it, honey. Oh, is it all dark now? Oh no, it's not dark. Okay, well, I think they're both working. I really do think they're both working. Because I just tried it. So there you go. Crazy new experiment. You can stream live into 2 Facebook groups at the same time. You just might not enjoy the process of getting it set up at all. Just in case anybody here ever plans on doing something like that. And by 2 groups, I mean, many of you are probably watching in the regular Writing Wives group that we have, but we also have the 5-day Facebook ad challenge starting next week. So we have the group up and running for that. And I'm also streaming into that group. We do the 5-day Facebook ad challenge about once a year. I think we've actually done it once a year for like the last 3 years. Maybe we did twice one year. I think we did 1 year like really early and whatnot. And what it basically is it's for folks who don't have a lot of coin or just want a refresher or something like that to have a free 5-day course on Facebook ads. We don't get super deep into the analysis, although we do some analysis as much as we can, like in a one-to-many setting when there's sometimes like hundreds of people in the challenge. But it's entirely free. All you have to do is join the group. And to join the group, you just have to, Jill has a form that I'm sure she'll post the link to, and then you'll be able to get invited into the group. Let's see. How can I add challenge something challenging every time? That's funny, Danica. Stefan says looks fine there. So woohoo! It is carrying on well. So now I'm streaming this to 5 different places, which is fabulous. And it seems like a lot of people are actually watching on the on my profile too. I have like 4 different places to see my metrics now when I'm doing this. I swear, like I need to like have a dedicated setup just for streaming to Facebook groups now. But let's see. But I'm curious if anybody has any thoughts on this. I asked this already, but there's more people in here now. Has anybody heard recently folks saying that Facebook ads are dead and they no longer work? Or does anyone think that themselves and are very disheartened by it? And I'm sure if you remember 2 weeks back when I was talking about Facebook ads and just how I was very annoyed at a lot of things that Facebook is doing right now, you might think that perhaps I think that Facebook ads are dead. I know that there was the scenario with Matt Holmes where he sent out a newsletter saying he's pulling his wife's books off of their Shopify site and back into KU because just Facebook ads are making things too hard right now for him. And even alluded to the fact that he was playing with targeting. And since he's sort of like one of the OG, don't put anything in for targeting people, it was an interesting comment for him to say. So Danica's heard it a lot. Kathy has heard it a lot. And Danica said that she tells people to refers people to me when they say that. And if you have heard anyone saying that, you can suggest that they come to our Facebook ad challenge. Jill, do you have the link for people to go to? Oh, she mentioned me about a link, but it's a different link. Do you have a link for people to go to sign up? That would be fabulous. And then I can put it in all the places. That was the one thing I didn't have. I didn't have the link. I was so focused on trying to get this app streaming to all the different places. I forgot about that key thing. Yeah, I would hear that. I would agree with that, Karen. They're not dead, but they're making less and less money. But that is also, I think, something to keep in mind. That there is a seasonal angle there. January is the heyday of Facebook ads. That's the best time of year for low cost, huge profit Facebook ads. Although it requires some prep. If you spend November sort of building up in early November, getting some ads running, get some solid ads running, and then you sort of like chill out over the week after American Thanksgiving, if you're running US ads, which most people are, and then you hit it hard 1 week after the week after American Thanksgiving. So American Thanksgiving on a Thursday, Cyber Monday's on Monday. Let your ads just sort of just chill for that week. Don't up your spend. Don't worry about things. And the week after, you up spend on the good ads and so on and so forth. You'll have a great December. And your January will be amazing because you're going to build up all this awareness before Christmas. And then come January 1, the cost of ads drops precipitously because all of the companies doing holiday ads, they end the ads. And suddenly we just get ads for way cheaper because competition goes down. And then January is like a total heyday for ads. And then after that, things go down. Things tend to trend down. There's like a couple of bumps that happen based on different holidays and scenarios and stuff like that. But things tend to trend down until June. And June is a low point in the year. And then things will pick up over the summer. Downside is that historically the KU rate is the lowest during summer. And then things climb back up again towards Christmas with a couple of bumps. So it is normal to see ads be less profitable during this time of year. Now, that doesn't mean that you should be seeing like losing money. It's just like January is awesome. June is usually just okay. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Yeah, that's true. Jill makes a really good point here about people tend to mention when it's not working for them. And that doesn't mean that it's not true for everybody else as well. It definitely can be something that is working really well for some people, and they're just not saying anything because they're working. They're not on Facebook complaining about stuff. They're doing all right. But I will say that over the course of this year, as Facebook's been rolling a lot of their AI targeting, a lot of stuff has gotten harder. And mainly that we have less and less control over our audiences, over who's seeing our ads. And what that does mean is that ads generally take longer to get going now because Facebook is sort of like showing to them this large swath of people. And if your creative isn't like on point, it'll have a very hard time homing in on who it should really be showing your ad to. And then, sort of like focusing on that audience. So it's made it much more incumbent on us to have really good creative and then leverage that really good creative to to find the right audience. So what you have to one, you have to have more patience when the ad starts, and you have to have creative that's going to nail it. And that's how you can how you have to make ads work these days. Although I still am a huge proponent of doing detailed targeting. I still every week test detailed targeting against the the wide targeting where you don't put anything in, and 9 times out of 10 detailed targeting wins. It is genre dependent. The more generally appealing your genre is, the less you have to worry about detailed targeting. If you're writing thrillers or you're writing clean, small town contemporary, you don't have to worry about people reporting your ad or bombing your comments or something like that. Although I have to say, I don't know if they're real people or if they're bots, but there's a lot of like really weird Christian comments that show up on ads. People just saying amen and bless him and stuff like that on ads. It's just like, what are you talking about? Like, this is like, it's like not even related. It doesn't, it's like an excerpt from a story and some sort of snarky comment. It's kind of weird. Yeah, new creative is, I mean, I'm pretty sure I suggested that too. I think I suggested it, that we need some new real stuff for your ads, Kay. And I definitely think that will help. That might be one thing that a lot of people are going to have to do. If you have ads that are waning, they might not be some ones that you can adjust super well to repair them, because Facebook has like decided that it knows who the audience for those ads is, and it's not going to tweak it. So you might have to basically start new ads with new creative and force Facebook to like start again. Because I have found that the AI targeting has been getting better. They've been working really hard on that, which they had to, because people were very unhappy with how it was working, and not just us, like big clients of theirs who paid them tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars were unhappy with how the AI targeting was working. So I believe that's a really big part of why it's better than it used to be. I also kind of wonder if they've walked some of it back behind the scenes too. That's been a thing as well. But that's definitely stuff we'll be getting into next week when I do the free challenge. Even if you're like a consulting client of ours or something like that, you're welcome to join the free challenge, because there are probably things that have, like base level things that have changed that maybe we talked about or briefly talked about like in our calls, or maybe we didn't talk about them because there's just a lot. So it might be a great way to get like a new foundation for where everything is. I'm going to talk about a lot of suggestions that Facebook makes and whether or not you should listen to them. Newsflash, you probably shouldn't listen to any of them. And how clicking the wrong thing can actually break your ads. Facebook a lot of times will be saying like, hey, you should try and do this, it'll be better. And they'll actively break your ads by doing that. So we're going to talk about some of those things. And we're going to talk a lot about analysis. That's going to be a big part of it. And we're also going to talk about Reels, and how those are a key part of every ad strategy now. Unless you're only advertising to people over 50 years old, then you should have Reels. And even if you are only advertising to people over 50 years old, hopefully chances are your content is still like applicable to people younger. So you might want to try Reels to try and find a younger audience. A lot of times I talk to authors, and when I say like, who's your audience, they don't talk about who they wrote the book for and who they think they should be reading the book. They talk about who they got already. Like, well, in my newsletter, everybody's XYZ years old or fits this demographic or something like that. I'm like, okay, do you think that those are the only people that your book applies to? Or is that just who you managed to grab based on the advertising and maybe the newsletter swaps you started out with or something like that? Are there other people that you could be reaching for with your ads for your book? And generally, I think that there are other people. Sometimes I'll talk to people. People will say like, well, most of my newsletter subscribers are 45 and older, so I don't think it's worth advertising to younger people. And I'll be like, I view that as untapped audience, unless like things in your books are going to be like unpalatable to those younger audiences. I definitely think that they're worth considering. They're like a good audience. Timothy's, you're off topic here, Timothy, but I want to read about this. Starship is launching. Did they both? Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so I am not an Elon Musk fangirl, but having Starship launch and then land is super important and very cool, because the people of SpaceX are brilliant and amazing and have been working very hard for a long time, despite the fact that Elon Musk bought his way into their company. And over half of the rocket launches going on right now on Earth, like half of the global rocket launches, are SpaceX. and they revolutionized that sort of thing, which I think is super important. And also, can you imagine if they can get Starship to, once they get it like up and running and affordable and all that, that means that crazy things like a 45-minute flight from Dallas to Tokyo will be possible, kind of thing like that. Like, it's super cool. Well, I bet that it wasn't great. I'm just happy that Grimes isn't with Elon anymore. Grimes is his ex-girlfriend slash partner, whom they had several kids with. I bet you Elon feels extra salty because Grimes is now with a trans DJ. So, and Elon is very, very not trans friendly, I would say. I don't think know if he's transphobic, but he's certainly not trans friendly. Anyway, so happy Pride. Just got to throw that out there. So yeah. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions about Facebook ads or about the challenge we're doing next week, about how to get into it? I've asked Jill a few times for the link. I'm not sure if she's listening right now because she might be she's with Eva in the living room doing things, but I really would love the link for people, honey. She's responded a couple times in the comments. But yeah, that's really exciting about Starship. I'm stoked. I want to see Mars, or the moon before I die, right? Like, I feel like that's not an unreasonable thought. Oh, Danica's going to get it. Perfect. Thank you so much, Danica. Have you left for Europe yet, Danica? Danica works for us, and she also works for Publish Drive, and she's going off there for a variety of things, plus going to SPF in London in a couple of weeks. But yeah, so one of the things I've really been seeing over the last 5-6 weeks that's made me really happy is ad performance that has been steady on a good number of accounts. Not getting better, not getting worse, just steady. And to be honest, steady is what I want. I want to be able to say, like, okay, we have this machine, we put this much money in, and every day we get a little bit more out. Maybe double, maybe only 50% more, something like that. But if you had a machine where every day you put in $3 and it gave you $5 back every day, this would be a great machine, right? So it doesn't have to be giving you $6 back, $10 back, $15 back. If you can have a machine where every day you put in a little bit of money and it gives you some more money back, that is fabulous. Even better if it can scale. And that's also one of these we'll be talking about in the 5-day challenge, is how to scale. So we're going to be talking about just basic things like setting up the business manager, understanding your read through, and like how to set up ads and operate like in a secure way. And then we'll be diving into like how to make ads and what audiences are and what the difference between the going wide audience versus the detailed targeting audiences are, and my various suggestions around those, and how to test them and then see which one's working better. Like, decide for yourself. Don't be silver bullet hunters. A lot of authors, we have like this feeling that like everybody else out there knows some sort of secret that we don't, and they're making it while like laying in a cabana, on the beach, and they never have to lift a finger again. And it's just like a perpetual motion machine that just works forever. There are no perpetual motion machines. There are no silver bullets. Everybody that's doing really well worked hard at it, and if they don't keep working hard at it, they're going to lose it. It's just the way it is. So don't think that there's someone out there who has it all figured out and is now playing a game where they have zero effort for maximum return, and that you need to keep trying stuff until you find that, because it doesn't exist. It's all about understanding your business, understanding how to analyze the data. And I like to present that in like really easy ways. There's very detailed ways you can really dig into the numbers, but there's also some very high level ways you can look at the numbers and just tell if things are profitable or not, without spending, a significant portion of your life doing math in a spreadsheet. Because I think most authors, the percentage of authors who like that is a very, very small percentage, who like that. So, yeah, Jill can send you a link, Kay, for the class. Absolutely. Although if you fill out the link on the page she put up there, she will be less likely to forget because she'll have it in a list. All right. I'm gonna put this up on screen because not everybody's gonna see this. This is a bit long. We should maybe have maybe if I remember one of these times, I can actually copy this and I can make a shortened version of it. Aha! For anybody that doesn't want to have to type on something really long. Give me 2 shakes. of a lamb's leg. Is it a lamb's leg or a lamb's tail? I feel like it should be a tail. I feel like the leg definitely shakes less. Whenever I think of if it's two shakes of a lamb's leg, I think of like that being a pee situation. The lamb is like peeing, it's got a leg up and it shakes a little bit at the end. Although I feel like it's more of a dog thing, right? I've seen dogs do that. All right. So here is a nice shortened link. There we are. That's a nice shortened link to sign up for our Facebook 5-day ad challenge if you are viewing this in a place where you didn't see the link that Jill put into the comments. So I'm going to leave that up for a while. So if anybody wants to copy that, they can copy that. Amy says, another question, do you still recommend starting an ad at $5 a day? No. And that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that, because I sometimes forget to mention that. I don't think that $5 a day works anymore because of the AI targeting that Facebook does behind the scenes. So again, like they have this thing they call it Advantage Plus targeting. And there's two different flavors of it. I'll get into that more in the 5-day ad challenge. But they basically are to a certain extent ignoring who we think the ad should be shown to and trying to figure it on their own. And because of that, they're going to show it to a huge audience of people. And let's say you go wide. Let's say you do full wide targeting, and you're just like, hey, Facebook, show this ad to all of the women in the United States. And I think the number of women that the Facebook can target in the United States is like around 160 million or something like that. But maybe you'll narrow it down to 35 plus. You'll probably get yourself down to maybe 120 million people that you're going to be showing your ad to. Well, a third of those read books and 2/3 don't, or don't read books frequently at all. So in the olden days, Facebook would know within about 1,000 impressions if your ad was showing to the right people. But 1,000 impressions, I mean, out of 100 million people, those 1,000 impressions could entirely be the people who don't read books, right? So Facebook might actually have to show 10,000 impressions or more before it really figures out who should be seeing your ad. And at $5 a day, that's going to take over a week for Facebook to even have an inkling of who it should be showing your ad to. This is a bit worst case scenario. It's not always that bad, but it can be that bad. So that's why I think you want to go $10 a day, just because otherwise you're going to wait 2 weeks with every single ad before you find out if it's good or not. And you'll spend the same amount of money, right? It'll take you 2 weeks and the same amount of money as if you spent 1 week at $10 a day. So that's why I think you should definitely go $10 a day to start things up. All right. Let's see. I'm just checking all my different screens for comments. So Danica said she's not in Europe yet. She leaves on Saturday, and she'll be at SPS Live. So if anyone's going to SPS Live, you can find Danica and say hi. Stefan Lear says, to get results, what's the minimum daily spend you recommend? So I think minimum at $10 a day, you should be able to tell if you have an ad that's working at $10 a day. And you know, if you have a completely dead series, like it makes like $1 a day, and you spend $10 a day on ads, chances are that you should be after about 2 weeks, it should get you up to the point where you're profitable, because it's going to take some read through, right? Like even if you look at the ad at week 1, you're like, okay, I'm seeing action, the reads line and attribution is going up, this is good. That it's still going to take a bit to be profitable, because most ads are not profitable just on book 1. It takes read through, right? And someone, especially if you're in KU, someone borrows the book, but they don't start reading it right away because they're reading something else. So you got to wait till they finish that and maybe another book before they get to your book. So it's a process. It has a human element to it when you're in KU. It takes human action for you to get the money. And then those reads have to be reported back to Amazon. Amazon has to tally them and then add them to the things. That can oftentimes add another 3 days as well. So 2 weeks is going to tell you if you have an ad that's kind of working. So you should be starting to see around 2 weeks that you're going to be making as much money as you're spending. And then, maybe a week or so after that, you'll really start to see the read through kick in. And it's different per book. Maybe your book is like really gripping and you wrote a romance duet or something like that, and it ends on a cliffhanger and everybody keeps reading hardcore to get that HEA. Maybe you'll see that return faster. But I really do feel like a $10 a day ad on a dead series may actually only get you up to $15 a day. If it's like a trilogy, if it's a 5-book series, you could actually see that $10 a day ad get you up to $20 a day. So it'd be doubling your money. Again, that depends on read through, review count, all sorts of different things can really be a factor. I also feel that there was actually a post about this in 20 books that Jill was telling me about. I didn't spot it myself, but the gist was people were saying like, wow, people are telling me I have to have more than I have to have 4.3 stars. I actually think it was even lower. It's like 4.1, 4.2 stars to run ads. And I actually think you probably should have a 4.3 on book one to run ads. If you have less than a 4.3, then that fifth star does not get half colored in. It takes 4.3 or higher for that fifth star to be halfway colored in. And people basically, when you're selling people a book, you're not selling them on price. You're selling them on value for time. And if you're a new author that they don't know, they're basically taking a gamble. Am I going to be wasting my time reading this person's book? And the higher that star rating is and the higher that review count is, the more confident they're going to be that they're not wasting their time. And it's a psychological a factor. And so that will increase your conversion. So you got a book that's 3.9, it's going to have lower conversion. So a book with like a 3.9 rating, or heaven forbid, like a 3.7 rating, which means that you only have 3.5 stars colored in, you might spend $10 and only ever make $10, even with good read through to other books in your series, because your conversions is going to be lower. So you have to perhaps do things to try and get that conversion up, to get that rating up, to get your conversion up. So there's a lot of factors that can come into play there. So I do think that $10 a day, though, is your minimum to tell if you have a viable ad that is at least going to be profit, at least break even. And a break even ad isn't the end of the world. Yes, it's not going to make you rich, but if you have other books, or the series is ongoing and you're writing more books in the series, then you should be taking that $10 a day ad and making sure that ad that series maximizes getting people into your mailing list. Because if you can get them into your mailing list and you continue to be a writer, you will get them to buy other things. So that ad can eventually pay back dividends based on pulling in new readership. Hey, Dharma, how's it going? All right, so Sue says, I'm a newbie and only have a first in series coming out soon. Should I start ads or wait until I have more books? I keep hearing different things about this. It depends on what your disposable income looks like, Sue. It's the number of books that I've seen that can be profitable with Facebook ads on just book one. I could probably count them on my hands and toes. It's more than my hands now, but hands and toes. Less than 20 books I've ever seen are profitable on just book one. So chances are that if you run Facebook ads just for that first book in your series, you will not turn a profit. However, if you've got the pre-order up for book two and you have a really strong system in place for getting people into your newsletter, it could still be worth it. Like there's deleted scenes or an extra epilogue or something like that at the back that people have to sign up for your newsletter to get, then it could end up being worth it. I would not run ads though until that book is out. So it can be worth it, but initially you're going to run at a loss. You're probably not going to make your money back right away. You're just going to be building up a readership. And really early on, what you really do want to be building up is readership, not money. You're in it to build up, to get more readers and get reading your books, not to be like laughing all the way to the bank. Unless you happen to have like some sort of runaway hit, then that's awesome. But if you don't have that, then oh, hey, Cynthia. It's been a while since I've seen you. It was at InkersCon. Was it last year? Or was it the year before that we bumped into each other, just sort of like serendipitously? Hope you're doing well. Cynthia and I first met at a writer's signing event up in Augusta, Maine, way back. And we met really cool people and had a fun time, especially playing games while no one ever came in to see our books at all. We met some cool authors and had a good time. And it was sort of like for a lot of us, it was like our initial, wow, this is going to be hard thing to learn about selling books. But yeah, so where was I going with all of that? The thing that I personally recommend the most is to write a reader magnet. So reader magnet being something like 10 to 15,000 words, takes place before book one. That can be a little bit tricky depending on what the inciting incident in book one is. Like if you're writing like a YA book about someone discovering they have magical power, well, a book that takes place before that is going to be them going to school and having a slice of life kind of event because nothing ever interesting happened to them, right? And it also wouldn't contain the main tropes. Like if it's a YA discovers magical power book, a reader magnet before book one wouldn't have that YA urban fantasy trope to it, or magical realism, or portal fantasy, or whatever it might be. That being said, though, it could be about their parents, or perhaps a mentor that they're going to encounter in book one. Could be the reader magnet. 10 to 15,000 words, professionally edited, good cover, put it up on BookFunnel. People have to give you their email address to get the book, and then you run ads to BookFunnel, and that can actually be a really profitable way to run ads before your book one's out. Jill started a pen name one time where I think we spent about $450 in a month, maybe a little bit more. No, it was a little bit less actually. It might have been around 350. She'll have to correct me. It was some time ago. But we built up a 4,500 person mailing list before book one, and it was brand new pen name, not connected to her in any way. 4,500 person mailing list before book one dropped. And then book one comes out, we hit this 4,500 person mailing list with like, hey, this new book is out. They just read in the last 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks, this reader magnet, and they're good to go. They're primed. So that's a great thing that you can do as well. And it still works. I have an author we're working with right now, and we're getting conversions onto her for her reader magnet, 25 cents per person. Sometimes it's as low as 20. And we built about a 2,000 person mailing list, or increase to her mailing list in just 6 weeks. So it's really good. Yeah, it was the best part, meeting you, Cynthia, not you meeting us. For those of you who didn't see this, she said meeting you and Jill was the best part. I'm like, it was the best part, but the reciprocal. Here, let me put this back up. Actually, I want this here. This is where you can sign up for the entirely 100% free 5-day Facebook ad challenge starting next week in our group, which is the 5-day Facebook ad challenge. This is also streaming there, and a couple of people are actually watching in that group as well. So peeps are there, and that's where the stuff's going to happen. Kathy, reader magnet, 10 to 15,000 words. Don't go too much longer, because you just like from a business perspective, you don't want to spend a lot of time and effort and then money with the edit on something you're giving away for free. You also, the whole point of reader magnet too is to convince people that you can tell a story and not force them to spend hours of their time, because the whole thing is, like I said before, with what we're doing, is our whole job is to convince people that they're gonna enjoy reading our books, and not waste their time. So a reader magnet that can be read in an hour is a really good way to do that. You can even say that, like, this is a 1 hour read. It's got a happily ever after. It's got the meet cute. It's got all the things. And sometimes you might be saying, like, how do I get all the? You have to get the major tropes, obviously, what you're writing. If you're writing small town romance, got to small town billionaire romance. Let's say, got to have the billionaire. Got to have the small town. You got to have a complication of some sort. You got to have the meet cute, obviously, and then you have to have the HEA. Sometimes you're like, how do I get that in? And sometimes what it involves doing is like skipping the first act. Now it's a little bit harder with romance, because, like I said, you got to have the meet cute, and you can't have the meet cute in the second act. But it could be harkening back to, like, maybe they're already together and they're like, this is just like when we met. That might be a little bit harder to do, but you get the idea. Or if you're writing like a military fantasy story or sci-fi story, you can have them like already start out like in the shit on the mission trying to do the thing, and what have been like the inciting incident and the initial complications and all of that can just be referenced by the characters. And if you ever do reference backstory stuff like that, actually at any point, both in your regular writing and in a reader magnet, reference backstory through character dialogue. Don't do it through just info dumps. Like, have the characters say, like, remember this is just like 4 weeks ago when this stupid ass thing happened, can you believe it? And someone else says, yeah, it's just like that. Like, that's, if you think about this, is what they got this whole crazy thing started. And rather than just like dumping backstory and narrative, you do it with the characters. It's more interesting, and it tells the reader something about the characters, which is a big thing that you want to do. Oh, that's awesome, Kate. I'm really happy to hear that. It says that she just signed up and she did one with us years ago. I'm really happy we started doing these. We actually got the idea from Brian Cohen, because he does a similar thing. Although actually Jill might have got the idea from other people, now that I think about it, because she's in a lot of like different business groups and whatnot. But I'm happy to hear that. All right. So Stefan says $25 a day. How long till profitability? So this is harkening back. I forgot to double check if Stefan had other comments. You spend $25 a day. How long till profitability? You're still probably going to end up waiting that 7 to 10 days for profitability, because Facebook still is a little bit slow on the learning. I found that ramping up that initial spend doesn't actually help the learning go that much faster. It just increases your likelihood to lose more money. Although it does depend. If you're running dynamic creative with like a lot of images and a lot of text options, then $25 a day can be fine. But if it's like a really limited amount of image and text, it might be a little bit too much to start with. But a lot of it depends on like what your disposable income looks like, and if you have an ad that's working, if you want to already be pre-scaled a bit, then that might be the way to go. I personally typically start like 10 to 15. If I have a surefire ad, like it's creative, I know is going to work, it's an audience that's really performed well in the past, then I might start at 20. I don't think I've ever started at 25. Actually, that's not true. For authors that are really high up there, who we might be spending like $500 to $1,000 a day, we'll absolutely start ads at $25 or higher a day. But for most people where we're just starting out, I keep it a little bit lower than that. But you're probably still looking at 7 days before you really see solid profitability coming from an ad, because Facebook just bones it for the first 3 to 4 days, regardless of your spend, it seems like. Organic says, annoyingly this week, Facebook seems to be serving all my ads to people who are buying single books and not the bundle. So I've wasted a lot of money in 6 days and gotten terrible results. Oh, that's unfortunate. Is that to your Shopify store by any chance, Morgana? I've been debating just not putting the single books on my Shopify store, which I'm actually currently not. I'm testing this because I've seen this happen with other people's Shopify stores where people keep buying the individual books. I'm just like, screw it. I'm only putting the bundles up, might be worth trying, just so like if this is your Shopify, to deactivate those individual titles. Okay, yeah, so once to Shopify, maybe try deactivating the individual titles. Although I'm trying to remember, is your bundle like $31 if I remember correctly? If I remember, I'm trying to remember because I have looked at your ads. I've just like reviewed them with Eliza. I think you have a bundle of like 8 books for $31. I might also try an additional tack where I might split them up. I might do a 5-book bundle for less, so I can have like a lower entry point. Okay, I am on the right track then. Morgana said yes. Maybe a 4 or 5 book bundle that's less money, like $20 or $19.99 or something like that. And then using a module like, or an app like Easy Upsell to then suggest as they go through checkout to get the next 3 books and offer them at a discount, like $10. And you can probably get the same dollar amount, but you might get more conversions as well, because the people are a little more likely to drop $20 on an author that they're not super familiar with than over 30. So you might want to try that. Either get rid of all the individuals or just switch and maybe try offering a lower price bundle. So I think one thing that's worth considering for those of you who are doing Shopify and whatnot, and you're doing bundles, look at your read through, like actually calculate your read through. If you're not familiar how to do that, it's going to be right at the beginning of the 5-day ad challenge next week. We're talking read through. Because what you'll find, of course, is if you sell book one, like say book one's $5, 50% of people are going to go on to buy book 2. Now maybe it's a little bit higher, maybe it's a little bit lower. I'm going to use 50% because it makes the math easy. And let's say for super easy math, 100% of the people go on to read books. If they read book 2, 100% go on to read books 3 and 4. So basically what that means is like books 2, 3, and 4, you basically are going to make half of the revenue based on read through, because only half of the people are moving on to read those books. So if all books are priced at $5, it's $5 for the first book, and then half of that other $15 for books 2 and 3 and 4, which works out to $12.50. So a lot of times you might look at it and be like, wow, these books normally sell for $20. I'm not going to price it down as low as like 14 or 13 because I'm losing too much money, but you actually aren't. In a lot of cases, if you look at your read through, a lot of times you can price 30, 40, 50% is getting a bit steep. You can price that much off and actually still make more money, because when you sell a bundle, you get 100% read through, because it's not like KU, right? You don't have to wait for them to actually read the pages. You get that money right up front. I'm not sure if that's the case for you or not, because remember you have really good read through, Morgana, but which is why I think maybe in your case, trying a 5-book bundle with an upsell to the other 3, where you make the same amount of profit, might be better, because you might get more people trying a 5-book bundle for a little bit less. Oh, good. Yeah, easy upsell. Easy upsell is clutch. All the page change. So I'm reading Morgana's post. Yeah, I already have a 4-book bundle waiting for Eliza to confirm. I should go ahead with that and do all the page changes to make it more like my big bundle page. I just don't know whether to do a discount on it. I would, like I said, Morgana, I think you should do it. And if there's page changes that you did to optimize your big bundle page, I would do that as well, just so you can have an apples to apples comparison. And I would look at your read through and just look like, okay, up till book 4, what is my read through value at? And then use that to inform your pricing for what you do the bundle at. And just see if it works. Yes, Easy Upsell is clutch, Monique. It is like the best thing for making additional money with Shopify ads. All right, Ivy Cox says, I'm a new dark romance author. I started with a duet. It's live and sells every day. Very little, but if I do have traffic, I want to push it more. Should I start now? I mean, yes, I think you should. I am curious what your read through to book 2 is. Romance duets tends to have, if they're written well and your cliffhanger doesn't piss people off, they tend to get really good read through. One thing to keep in mind if you're doing like a romance duet, if you're doing any sort of like series where people have to continue to book 2, make sure that book 1 does what it says on the tin. You know, like I have a 3-book series where the characters are going off to start a new colony, and book 1 is titled Out System, and it's very clear that the purpose of the book is them getting the colony ship out of the Sol system. And at the end of the book, they do that. Now they haven't done the longer term thing where they get to the colony world and colonize it, but it does what it says on the tin. And you have to make sure you do that. If you make the cliffhanger happen in the middle of Act 2 in a story, people are going to be pissed off. It's a little bit harder to do in a duet, but it is entirely possible. You have to have like some sort of like, there's supposed to be a climax and overcoming of obstacles of some sort, in the book. If you have that, you can have a really good read through to the second duet. And it's a great way to take a romance story and effectively almost double your money from what could have been a single book in a lot of cases. It might just been a chonky book, but yeah, I'm curious when you say $10 a day, what's like how many people that buy book 1 go on to buy book 2? That would be the thing to figure out. It's probably pretty high. And if you do have that, I would try some ads. I mean, next week, sign up for the 5-day challenge and learn how to run ads and fire one up. It's you do have to basically set aside some money and say this money is learning money. I recommend at least $150. You have to have $150 that you can afford to pay to the school of learning how to do Facebook ads. And if you can't afford to do that, then you probably shouldn't run Facebook ads because it is risky. All paid advertising is risky, and there's no guarantee on return. So do keep that in mind that you should be able to have. You need to have some amount of disposable income. 75, I guess, is doable if you were to have it. But then if you had success, you would still have to shut them off. Do keep in mind though, when you're running ads, that if you start running ads on January 1st and you sell books on Jan 1, Facebook is not going to pay you. Sorry, not Facebook. Amazon is not going to pay you for those Jan 1 sales until the end of March. So you have to float your ad spend for 3 months. They pay us $60 in arrear, but like it's $60 at the end of the month. And we ad spend goes up every day. Yes, that is the best part of doing direct sales. You get your money in 3 days. It makes it a lot easier to scale. 3 days-ish, depending on things. But yeah, definitely makes that a lot better. I guess I did get a late start because I'm doing the dual stream here to do 2 different Facebook groups. But I feel like I've talked a lot, and this was really good chat. I've enjoyed this. I hope that folks who are curious about Facebook ads or just sort of want to get a refresher or anything like that, join our 5-day ad challenge group. This is the link right here. It should also be up in the comments in whatever place you're watching this stream, so you should be able to see it there as well. You can sign up for the 5-day challenge, and then Jill will get you access to the Facebook group where we run it. It's going to have, oh shoot, how are we structuring this? I suddenly forget. There's going to be a bunch of live videos from me. There'll be a live kickoff for sure. Talk about a lot of different things that we're going to be trying to do and ways to get you jazzed up and excited about things. We're talking about read through. We're going to be covering things like reels. We're going to be talking about how to analyze ads using attribution links, and also we'll be talking about direct sales ads a bit too, and how to analyze those and improved ways of tracking your direct sales ads. And maybe we'll brush a little bit on how to optimize conversion and your ROAS, return on ad spend, which you can calculate a little bit more with a direct sales setup. So we'll definitely be talking about a bunch of that stuff too. There's the group too. Oh wait, never mind. I was scrolled up and I thought y'all just posted something new about the group, but that was a little while ago. All right, cool. Well, if anybody has any questions about the challenge or what we're doing or anything like that, feel free to send me a message or send Jill a message or send Danica a message. She was in the comments on the Writing Wives group. Really want to have you there. Oh yeah, we are going to be doing, so it'll be the 5-day challenge. There's going to be a bunch of live stuff. There'll be like a video every day and then a live video every day as well. So like a sort of instructional one to watch, and then when we do some Q&A, I think that's every day that we'll be doing those. I'll double check, but there'll be a lot of it. And then a few weeks afterward, we're going to have another call, another video, a live video where people can bring questions about the ads that they started up. So we kind of like we can review some of your ads. You'll be able to post stuff in the group and get feedback on that. Myself and some of the people on my team will be in there to provide feedback on people's ads and how well they're doing. Just like a huge focus on helping everybody learn more about like how to get good ads up and running and how to introspect and learn about their ads. Yes, the challenge will be on Facebook. So you sign up off Facebook and then Jill will add you into the group. All right, folks. Well, it has been a slice chatting with all of you here today. We got a lot of people watching between all the different places. I think we are well up over 30 people watching live, which is pretty cool. Most people that watch this tend to watch later. So hey, everybody watching the replay, awesome to have you here too. And if you have questions, like I said, always message them over. All right, folks, we'll see you later. Have a fabulous day. And yes, Timothy, I will be watching that launch later because I want to see that thing come back down. Like, I know it happened, but I want to see Starship come back down. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a fabulous day.